And then next I'm going to take this warm brown shade right here and just really coat my brush in that and start on the outer V with that shade and blend it into the crease, but keep it pretty low. See how we blended that second shade up more? We're going to keep this one right here in the crease, right where your eyelid folds. And then bring that shade in towards the inner corner. And same thing on the other side, just pack that onto the outer V and then begin blending it into the crease. And you want to make sure you bring that color all the way in towards the inner corner. Now I'm going to take the shade right here and just add a little bit of that into the crease. Next I'm going to take a cleaner brush and mix the two transition shades together again and add those right there above the crease where we blew it out to, so that it just looks more blended. Now we're going to do the outer V, and we're going to make that super dark. And to do that, we're going to let's take another one of those brushes. I'm going to mix these two shades first. Ooh, that's pigmented. Okay, and then tap off the excess and just go right into that outer V and really pack on that color. And it's okay if it's not super blended right now, because we're going to cover most of the lid up with the gold. So we're going to definitely go back in and intensify this color, but we're just getting it laid down to start with. And now we're going to mix these two shades together. And do the same thing on the other eye. And again, like I said, if it's not super blended right now, don't really worry about it, because we're going to have to go in and intensify these colors anyways. These super dark browns can be tricky to work with, but just be patient and use your transition colors and you should be okay. And now I'm going to go into this color that we used earlier for the crease, and I'm going to tap off the excess and blend it in to that deeper brown, so that'll be blended better. Because there's a harsh line right there, and we'll blend that out with that lighter shade. I go in with that deep brown again and just intensify that a little bit more. Okay, and just kind of bring that darker brown onto the lid a little bit, just so there's no gap in between the dark brown and the gold. I'm gonna zoom. And just let's see. Now we're gonna take a concealer brush like this, and I'm gonna take some of that Shape Tape concealer that I used earlier and put it on the back of my hand. And then we're gonna carve out the lid with that before we put our shimmer shadow down. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put the concealer on this brush, and then I'm going to dab it off a little bit on my hand so it's not a huge amount of concealer on your eyelid. And then you're just going to take this and carve out the inner part of your lid. Don't carve out all the way to the outer portion where we put the dark color, just kind of on the inner corner. And if you want to, you can take this color and you can look up and you can kind of see where the concealer kind of transferred to the top of your lid, and you can take the concealer and make like a faux lid and just bring it up higher and create the illusion of bigger eyelid. As you get closer to the center part of your lid, don't worry so much about having the concealer there. Just kind of go over it and feather it out, because that's going to be like the gradient with the gold and the brown to kind of meet. So don't worry too much about that. And now we're going to do the other eye the same way. Just kind of look up, and that'll transfer the concealer up higher, and then you can just follow that line with your concealer. And that's just so you can see kind of where, like when you open your eyes, you can still see where the eyeshadow is. And then kind of just feather that out. Same way we did on the other eye. And this concealer is really good because it's kind of sticky. It's not super sticky, but it's sticky enough that where if you put eyeshadow on top of it, it'll stick really good. And it will last longer that way. And just kind of make sure that the eyes are even on both sides. Okay, and next, I'm going to take the gold shade from the Jaclyn Hill palette, this gold shade, and I'm going to put that on with some sort of packing brush. Let's see. This one's got something writing on it. Here's one. Okay, so this is kind of like a concealer brush, but I'm just going to take that shade, and first I'm going to wet my brush with Fix Plus because that helps the colors stand out really good, and just go into that shade and then apply that directly on top of where we put the concealer. And then once you get to the part that's like more towards the center, just feather it out into the brown. Don't make it too blocky. Like you don't want to have like a half moon. You want it to kind of fade into the darker brown. And do the same thing for the other eye. Cut creases are not as scary as they look. I only started doing them like here recently, but they're really, it really adds another step to your makeup routine, and it's really not that hard. It is a little bit time consuming, but it adds a really nice effect. You can do cut creases without the concealer too. You just have to maybe like pack the eyeshadow on a little bit more. But see how I'm feathering this out into the brown to make it not blocky at all and really blended. And now I'm going to go back with this brush that I used to do the outer corner, and I'm going to take this dark brown and put that on the outer V again and blend it towards the gold. And see how that just blends this seamlessly? That's what you want. Same thing for the other eye. And now I'm just going to take a little bit of this dark brown shade and a little bit of the one beside it and just kind of mix them together. I really want this outer V to be super dark. And then I'm going to go in again with the crease color, this one, and just blend out that edge. Okay, and now I think I'm going to add some of this Wet n Wild Color Icon Loose Pigment in the shade On Top. Cherry on top, something like that. I'm just gonna pour a little bit into the lid and use the same brush that I used for the gold on my eyelid and spray it with some Fix Plus again. And just take some of that and pop it right there on the inner part of the eye. This is a loose pigment highlighter, I think, so it's really going to make that color stand out. Okay. Now I'm going to take a pencil brush and smoke out the lower lash line. So I'm going to just dust that brush off, and then I'm going to grab this shade and run it on the lower lash line. I do this, I use eyeshadow on the bottom instead of eyeliner because it's less harsh and it just makes your eyes look bigger. And then I'm going to take this dark brown right here and run that on the outer part of the lower lash line. Same thing for the other eye. And you want to connect this bottom lash line to the upper part of your eye. So just connect. Okay. And another reason we went above our actual crease is because if you stay on this part of your eye, the color's going to transfer up there anyways, and it's just going to look kind of weird. So that's why we put the concealer on the upper part of the crease. Okay, now I'm going to run some black eyeshadow onto my lash line. I'm just going to take the black from the Jaclyn Hill palette and just put that on the lash line. And I'm not going to go all the way into the inner corner just because I don't want to close in my eye. But I'm going to go about halfway in. Okay. Now I'm going to use some mascara. I'm going to use the Maybelline Big Shot mascara. I love this stuff. It's in the gold packaging, so that's just right up my alley. And then just a light coat to the top lashes because we're going to add falsies. And then run it on the lower lashes as well. Okay, I'm going to look for some like nude eyeliner for the bottom lash line. Okay, I have no idea where that is. Okay. I'm about to sneeze. That's the worst. God bless the broken road. Just smoke it out. Oh well. Okay. Let's see. Now we're gonna do lashes. I'm gonna use these faux mink ones from Ardell. They're super dramatic, but I love them. And I'm gonna use the Ardell lash glue and a pair of tweezers to apply these. I recommend using like a smaller pair of lashes if it's your first time wearing lashes, but I feel like lashes just add an extra oomph to your eye makeup, you know? And so I'm gonna probably clip these a little bit. So just lay it on your eye and measure.